Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Star Trek Reliant, a Star Trek Adventures podcast, where we all play a game and you get to listen to the strange things we decide to do. I am Geraldine, and tonight I will be the GM. With me as well are our captain, for the moment, Eli O'Connor.
Remember, folks, it's only a paper moon.
Our man out of time, DB Wells.
I don't get that reference.
Our pirate engineer, Chorog.
I'm here to chew targ tail and drink rum, and I'm all out of targ tail.
I am... You know what? I'm just going to leave that. I'm not even going to ask any further. Our dinosaur scientist, Grawl.
The best is yet to come.
And our wonderful SAR chief engineer, the guy who keeps everything running, Rick Tier.
Yeah, unfortunately, the holodeck has gone down for maintenance. We're not able to play any of the current holodeck programs, including a certain jazz musician, for reasons that I'm sure you're aware of.
I'm sure it had something to do with broccoli.
No comment.
All right, just to give everybody a little recap. Last session, the group found their way into the facility known as the Taciturn Surveyor, and they started to explore their way down. There was a bit of a scuffle on a light bridge, where a certain Captain Nethel tried to regain his honor, and he only gained a sword in the stomach for his trouble. And then after that, the group started exploring around a bit more. Among the things that happened is that they opened an enclosure with a strange plant-like being in it that just seemed to be a large eyeball on a stalk. Apparently, that was called a sinner. Later on, when they came back past, all the glass was shattered, the light was malfunctioning, and there were large rending claw marks across the back of the enclosure. I'm sure it's fine. Absolutely fine. And thus we join the group in the Argo as they slowly drive down deeper and deeper into the facility. As they go along, the various areas and trails start to become more crumbling, more difficult, more narrow. DB, go ahead and give me a control con roll.
Alrighty then.
2 successes with an 8 and a 7. Once again, a masterful driver. DB, you managed to keep the Argo going along far past what anyone else would have managed. You drive the vehicle along areas which are barely wide enough for it to just scrape by. And after another ramp comes down, you come to a small section where there's only a humanoid-sized door. Looks like despite how far you've managed to get with the Argo, it's all on foot from here.
Well, everybody get out. I turn off the Argo.
Peb looks up. You want me to watch the car?
You may as well take the car home. Or as far back as you can get.
You know what? I think I'll just watch the car and stay here for a little while. If you don't come back in a couple days, then I'll figure out what to do.
I'm just thinking, just in case there's the portal thing, if that's, down here. Or do we have to go do this, then go all the way back outside?
Well, I assume the portal's down there. Vigarin looks over. The portal is at the bottom of the facility. It will not be hard to find.
Alright, see, so take the car. I guess Checkers is going to have, he's going to need company.
Oh, right, the big guy's out there. Okay, yeah, I feel safer already.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and pretty much any danger you might run into in here would have already been in here when we arrived.
Sabatu just kind of looks over and just says, I I don't know if that's helping.
I mean, there is the thing that, you let out, DB, but we're not going to get into that.
Hey, from everything I knew, it was just it would like it did not have claws. Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right. Everybody get their stuff and let's go.
Around about the time he says claws, there's a low rumbling groan from deeper in the facility.
Deeper is in like in from the direction of the doorway that we're going through.
Deeper as in deeper down the central shaft, which is run down the entire facility.
Okay.
I don't like the sound of that.
Parahops. Go ahead.
Everyone, make sure you get the layout of the map on your not tricorders, your data pads, so we can keep track of where we are and where we're going.
Say again?
Make sure you have a copy of the map of the facility on your data pads.
Okay. Just making sure.
Or just kind of slips out of the Argo and just says, "Everybody find a travel buddy."
Also, if you want to replicate something, this might be the last chance for a little while.
Everybody carry at least 2 ration bars with you.
Kara looks at DB and says, "Point." She goes over to the replicator and replicates a bottle of Soma. She pops the top on it and kind of walks over. "I'm good."
Okay. And DB just climbs out of the Argo.
Rick replicates a couple of bottles of water and some ration bars just as a extra backup.
Eli grabs his things, his rifle, pistol, all that, and med kit, and also, replicates a canteen and some ration bars. Ryuji has no idea what a replicator is. He's just getting out. He's got his sword. He's chilling. He's vibing.
DB, when you exit the vehicle, the grave siren that's been with you also exits the vehicle and starts to float along behind you.
Are you coming with us this time, Moo? Okay. John Doe is just shouts out from the back of the Argo. Hey, Pim, do you want some extra backup here? I can always stay behind and watch the Argo from the inside.
I think that's probably better off for you. Why don't you take a break?
All right, I'll just stay in here with the windows rolled up. You guys go on and explore the rumbling depths.
Charles grabs 2 extra bottles of venom and 4 protein packs, as well as his weapons.
Question: are you going to try to take the mounted gun with you?
Yes.
Go ahead and give me a fitness security roll. 1 success and a complication. Believe it or not, I was prepared for this time. Grog, you move up and you wrench the gun off of the Argo. Unfortunately, you forgot to disengage it first and have twisted apart the clamp that would keep the gun connected to the Argo. Still, you have the gun.
Well, gonna have to fix that when we get back.
Grow replicates some meat and follows and waddles out, following the directions on the Spock helmet mindlessly.
Well, if you're going to be following it mindlessly, it immediately starts to lead you through the human-sized door and down a narrow hallway. Does everyone else follow?
Charles
wait up.
Charles puts the mounted weapon on the ground and engages the carry handles. Yeah, you better let me take point. I'm the one with the gun here.
Ari moves up and just gently grabs the back of Gral's uniform to stop him for a second. Chorog should probably go first. You can follow him.
All right.
If anything happens, I want it to happen to me first. What if it happened from the flank?
They're in for a nasty surprise.
That would be quite interesting, considering the hallway is long enough only for a single, or wide enough only for a single file line. All right, Chorog, you lead the way down, and you find yourself now in a large room. based on the rubble around, it looks like this used to be some sort of meeting area. You detect things that you think used to be chairs and tables.
Let me do a 3-point room scan before you guys come in here. I don't want you guys getting ambushed or anything.
Go ahead and give me a reason security.
While Chorog is scoping out the room, I just want to observe whether or not it seems like anyone's actually there's been like any activity period in here recently. Like, is there like dust on the ground, and if so, is any of it disturbed? That sort of thing.
Churog, from the very entrance of the room, you start to detect that further in the room are several biosigns. And also, the telltale energy of disruptor coils.
You guys stay put. There's something in here. I want to investigate it.
Kara just kind of rolls up one of her sleeves. What, and let you have all the fun?
Okay, fine. You get to come along too.
Chorog, we are all armed. It's fine. Anybody not armed, speak your piece now.
I have a glove.
Alright, is the glove offensive at all?
It can be.
Kara looks over at it. It's bulky, the color is weird, and it's got circuitry coming off of it. I'd call it pretty offensive.
Very well. Everybody just, you know what? He raises his rifle. Let's just go.
All right, Chorog, as you start to move into the room, how are you going to do it?
Trog starts at the left-hand vector and works clockwise around the room, doing scans as he goes along.
Oof. Chorog, go ahead and give me a daring security real quick.
Also, I just want to say that Daniel is just kind of like scanning around with his chrono scanner just to see if like anything, just see if he can catch anything that like went through this area within the past hour or so.
Okay, so Chorog, you're alert and you're looking around, and when one of the new life forms, which appears to be sort of kind of a blue-gray color with strange wrinkled skin, pops up and points a disruptor in your direction, you're already moving. Despite the sniper's keen aim, you manage to get out of the way just in time. On the other hand, DB, you're busy trying to look at things that happened an hour ago, and you get shot in the chest.
Fuck, DB!
I guess I have I guess I have a hole in my spacesuit now.
It definitely stings.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. I guess I fall over.
You know, it might be the best option right now.
Also, by the way, just out of character, the only reason why I was doing the chrono scanner thing was to see if I could like see what was in the room before they jumped out at us. But then, as I was checking, they jumped out at us.
Yeah, that can happen. All right, so
mow him down.
we've entered combat, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start at the bottom and have our way up. I'm going to give you a description. Right now, you are facing 7 different attackers wielding a variety of primitive energy weapons. They all have some form of cover across the room, and they appear to have been waiting for you. With that out of the way, we'll start at the bottom and work our way up. Baz, what would you like to do?
Alright, as Rick here enters the room, he looks for like any kind of pipes or anything that might be able to cause an explosion. Maybe a console that he can overload.
There are a couple consoles around the room, but they are dark, and the only person standing near one is Chorog.
Alright, well, he now wishes that he had some form of grenades. But, I mean, he's got a phaser, so he's gonna charge a phaser to do a spread and try and
Well,
get as many.
if you're looking for something explosive, all of the different characters are wearing pattern buffers full of C4.
You know what, yeah, he's going to lob some C4, some serious putty.
All right, you're making a quick, crude grenade out of a timer and some C4. Let's go ahead and get a daring engineering from you.
I need to bring up my character sheet because I forgot to do that.
And I can lend an assist. I have improvised construction and pyrotechnics.
This is in the middle of combat, so you won't be able to assist. You'll have your own attack here in a bit.
So it was daring and engineering.
Daring and engineering.
Oof.
Okay. You toss forward the C4, and it creates a massive explosion, which seems to disorient several of the figures attacking you. Unfortunately, it also disorients you from the force of the blast. So next turn, you will be suffering a slightly increased critical threat range due to the fact that you have, well, if not flash-banged yourself, at least banged yourself.
Fair enough.
Dr. Eli O'Connor, it's your turn. What would you like to do?
Well, I have the 2 characters. Should I just go last since I got the 2?
No, we can do them in either order. I mean, do you want to do...
I would like to break up the turn if that's okay, so I could do one.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead and do one, and we'll do the other one at the very last.
All right, Eli is going to be the first. He's just raising his rifle and firing back.
All right, give me just a simple daring security.
Of course, daring is there and secure. Okay. Come on, Majel. Come on.
If Majel is being her usual self,
There we go.
All right, you fire forward, and you manage to hit one of the Screeve that was stunned by Rick's grenade. He was wandering out from behind cover, and you nail him right in the chest, and he goes down. There are now 6 left of your ambushers. For Kara's turn, she's just going to continue to sneak around the outside and keep to cover, so she's not doing anything this turn. Oh dear, I just remembered, now it's the traumatized Dino's turn.
Goro tries to maintain control, but suddenly it screams out and breaks towards the nearest attacker.
Going for a melee attack?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and give me... let's just say daring security on this one. I'm tempted to use fitness, but not yet.
I just realized something.
What did you realize?
Shooting is control security, so that would have been 2 successes for Eli.
Yeah, fair enough, but I did ask for daring security that time, so...
Damn. Oh well.
Okay. Grawl, you rush forward and close the distance with one of the Screeve wielding a disruptor pistol. You are going to take him down completely, and I will allow you to narrate exactly how Grawl does this.
Goro jumps on to the attacker, holds him down with his claws, and then starts biting him.
There is a quick scream, and then a muffled gurgle, and now there is no more screaming. There are now 5 ambushers left. DB Wells, you're in pain and on the ground. What would you like to do?
Soon after I land on the ground, Moo just kind of goes over and looks at the hole in my suit and just goes, and then I yell out, "Oh, real classy, shooting at the one person without a weapon. Who the hell are you guys?"
You just get back a variety of growls and hisses in response.
I grumble and just kind of get up and start walking away from the fight.
Are you walking or running?
I will scamper away. A nice middle ground.
Okay, go ahead and give me a reason security. You're looking for some cover. 1 success. You can definitely feel the sting of that, disruptor hit, but you're able to duck behind some overturned tables and chairs, and you make a very small target of yourself. It will be very difficult for any attack to hit you next turn. And we come now to the man with the biggest gun, Jorog.
Jorog begins to analyze the situation, sees 3 of them in relatively close quarters. He's going to try to take them all down with one big blast.
From the railgun?
From the railgun.
Hidoki, go ahead and give us a control security.
Lady Luck.
Good lord. You
Huh?
fire off a massive blast. One of the guys goes down, instantly being hit. The other two are thrown forward and out of cover. They are not quite out of the fight, but they are dazed and in the open. There are now 4 ambushers left. This brings us to Ryuji, our final turn.
All right. So how many are still standing?
2.
All right. Ryuji is going to charge and draw his sword and slash in one move.
All right. Yeah, give me daring security.
All right.
I want to use fitness, but maybe next turn.
Fitness would be even better for me, but hey, 3 successes.
Ryuji, go ahead and narrate how you take this guy down.
Ryuji, he just slips past the other people, despite him being, a big guy. He's big, muscly. He just slips past everybody behind him and just charges forward. As he gets within distance, he just draws and slashes all in one movement and just goes right for the head. Heads are rolling.
Well, a head anyway. That's another person down. There are now 3 ambushers remaining, and it is now their turn. The one ambusher on his feet and, in reasonable mental state, looks around, realizes that odds aren't in his favor, and he makes a run for it. And he heads back down the hallway further past where the group will be going next, presuming they win. The other 2 quickly get up and scamper behind cover, and they take dazed shots at Chorog, who is the biggest and seems to be the greatest threat.
Trog sees him take an aim and just shouts out, "If you want to hit, if you shoot at me, you better hope to kill me, because I'm coming guns blazing if you don't."
Can we say Grimnir is there with him?
Grumpy.
He wakes up in the trunk of the Argo and stumbles forward to find everyone else.
Okay, there we go. Also, this little bastard is really lucky, and while you're busy saying, taunting him like this, he takes aim and he blasts you right in the chest and knocks you on your butt. It really stings. It's a good thing that these weapons appear to be old. Also, Grumpy, hey, and welcome. We can go ahead and just have Grimnir or, Waitley here if you want.
Like I said, can we say Grimnir is there with Chorog?
Sure.
I mean, we're all together right now, so.
Yep.
So,
Just to bring Grumpy up to speed, we're deep in the bowels of a Trident facility, and the group has just been ambushed by a group of ferals. It's not going well for the ferals.
I am hiding behind some furniture with a hole in my spacesuit.
Trog looks down at the hole in his favorite uniform, say, "Okay," and looks up to them, really pissed. "Okay, that didn't kill me. You're dead now."
And about the time you say that, you get smacked with another disruptor bolt. Churog, give me a fitness security. Churog, you're still in the fight, but that really hurt.
"Okay, that really hurt. I'm going to rip your head off now."
Grimnir, would you like to enter combat on this round?
Oh, absolutely. What I was gonna say is that after Grimnir sees the first shot at Chorog, Grimnir steps in the way and says, "I don't know who you are, but you don't know who I am, and that's gonna be a regrettable mistake." And he draws his sword out.
"Grimnir, sick him."
So you're going to be going in for a melee attack then?
Oh yes, absolutely. But he's gonna start with his melee attack. Now you're the storyteller, so you have full control over Grimnir's special abilities. He's gonna start his initial attack with a Fusor Da.
Okay, trying to figure out what kind of dice that would be. You know what? I think that would be sort of a presence security. So go ahead and give me a presence security roll.
Okay, somebody remind me how to do rolls. It's slash
D20.
D20.
Or
Then you-
/R.
And then when you
he does have a focus in his shouting. How do you do the focus again?
Critical would be the discipline, as in, so if it's security, it would be whatever you have for security.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm just gonna hit that.
Oh, hey, there it went. You get a success. For whatever reason, maybe you're out of practice, maybe Trident is weird, the power is not quite what you would expect, but it's still more than enough. When you shout, the one who had fired last goes flying back into the wall and is now stunned unconscious. There is one ambusher remaining. And we move back to the top of the round. Baz, you're a little bit stunned, but things have been going very, very well for your side. There's one ambusher left.
I think he'll give one more shot and try to take out the last remaining one.
All right, if you're using your phaser, that's just control security.
Is there a comp since he's sort of, been
There
banged?
is. The comp will be 18 and above.
Okay. He's got a focus in phasers. Almost double
Well,
crit.
Yeah, I was about to say you might have missed the focus and phasers, but despite the slightly blurred vision, the two of him line up for a moment and you fire at that one in the middle. And that guy goes down in a crumpled heap. All of the ambushers are down, one of whom is merely unconscious, but combat has now ended. And Chorog has apparently hazily been pouring some venom in the wound. Chorog, give me another fitness security.
Okay.
He does, right next to the doctor.
Hey, let him do it his way. Chorog, you feel like you can stand up and like you need to stand up, but somehow you also feel worse at the same time.
Eli comes over to Chorog, quickly swinging his rifle. Hey. Stop moving and stop pouring alcohol over. This is a burn, not a bullet wound.
I'll be fine.
Sometimes alcohol is good on a burn.
As Troic stands up and immediately face plants.
Meanwhile, Grow issues another shriek and rushes towards the downed combatant.
Okay, somebody stop him.
Give me just a second. Kara runs up after him.
Rick just finds a cradle or something to sit on as he just sort of gets his bearings fully back.
Kara runs up and quickly grabs Grawl with her, steel arms and just holds on and says, hey, whoa, that one's down. You don't have to.
Growl wildly growls and hisses and slashes at Kara.
When Grimnir hears this, he was focused on making sure that Chorog was okay, but when he hears all that, he stands up, straightens up, and starts walking over to them, and he draws a sword and he says, "They're never down until you make them."
Grimnir, don't you fucking dare. That's an order. Everybody cool it.
Trog drunkenly rolls over. Hey, no one touch the guns. I want the guns. Those are battle trophies.
All right, let's do this.
Grimnir looks at Eli. He quirks an eyebrow and he says, "Are you gonna kick me out of Club 47 if I do?"
I might confine you to quarters. I'm not going to kick you out, but you're definitely not going to be bartending for a while. Or doing anything.
He looks at Chorog, quirks an eyebrow. He doesn't say anything, but he just gives him a facial expression, like, "What do you think?" Kind of facial expression.
Grimnir sees the message that Grimnir sends with his eyes.
You mean Chorog?
Chorog sees what Grimnir was telling him with his eyes. Grimnir, don't kill them. If they're still alive, we can interrogate them.
Grimnir kind of slumps his shoulders and says, "Fine, you're no fun." Sheathes his sword and says, "All right, do what you want."
All right,
Meanwhile, Kara is holding onto a bitey, slashy, and very upset Grawl. She's like, "Ow, ow, stop it, ow, stop, okay, fine." And she moves her arms up and she puts him in a sleeper hold, depressing one of the arteries in his neck. And after a moment, down goes Grawl unconscious, and she gently lays him on the floor.
all right, let's get triage out of the way.
I feel like Goral should get a roll for that, don't you think?
In this case, probably not, because Kara already caught him with 2 successes. If Grawl wants to
Oh,
contest
okay.
this, he can, but Grawl was also the one who recommended I put out the dino for a bit.
Yeah, he's kind of in a berserker rage. That's probably the best way to get it down.
Damn, he's fighting through the ketamine.
Someone give me something to take this edge off. I want to
Yes,
interrogate these before these guys' brains leak out their heads.
That's what I'm
Grimnir
trying
reaches
to
into
do.
his pack and hands him a bottle of his mead. The Grimnir's best mead.
Okay, I guess Chora could wait. Daniel, come over here.
Daniel has made his way back over to the group by now, and just kind of like pulls open the hole. Like he doesn't like try and make the hole bigger, but he like pulls open the hole in his suit so Eli can just kind of like look at the wound.
Whoa, buddy! What? You just ruined your suit even worse. I just have to wave a light over it.
I said
Yeah.
he's not trying to make
Oh,
the
he's
hole
not.
bigger.
Okay, I thought you said he
Yeah.
was. Like, wave
He's
a light.
just kind of like moving like the flaps of fabric and stuff out of the way.
All right, here. I'm a wave a light over it. It's just a little burn. Eli says, starting to wave the light over.
Okay, go ahead and give me a controlled medicine, Eli.
All right, well, I'm getting that stats in the over one of the headless body. Ryuji flicks his blade, sticks it between his elbow and forearm, and just cleans it before sheathing his blade. There we go. And you said control medicine?
Control medicine.
Also, did the suit get hit in a mostly like fabric-y kind of section, or in like this is like a little piece of technology I'm gonna have to fix later kind of section?
Your suit has mostly just been hitting the fabric. Honestly, you'll be able to patch it later, especially with, Starfleet technology. And you actually feel perfectly fine after a minute. Eli gives you the dermal regenerator, a bit of a painkiller, and you feel perfectly fine. At this point, the worst thing that's happened to you is just the hole in the suit.
Thank you, Eli. I'm gonna pop right back over to the Argo because we're only like 3 minutes. We're like a couple minutes away. You print out a few hatch kits because if this happens again farther away, I'm gonna want to be able to do something about this. Then Daniel turns around and heads back to the Argo.
Along the way, he passes Graves, Setsa, Dro, and Vigarin as they walk down and into the area.
All right.
Mark?
Come here.
I'm coming.
Now that you're being patient as a patient, it's also time for me to wave a light over your burns.
Chorog unbuckles his outer coat and pulls away the leather armor undershirt to reveal the rather ugly-looking hole in his chest.
There's actually
Grimnir turns his head because, by the code of manly honor, one should not see the weakness of another.
There's actually 2 wounds, one in his chest and one across his shoulder.
Chorog looks at the wounds and, damn, they hit me harder than I thought they did. Crap.
Did you remember to get your mobile shield emitter?
Mobile shield emitter, what's that?
You don't have a shield? Okay, never mind. I'm just...
No, I've never used one.
Grimnir perks up at that too, like, wait, what?
Have you guys never actually played the game we're basing this?
I was about to say, Kara looks over. What's a mobile shield emitter?
The shield thing.
Daniel shouts back from the doorway as he's right before he goes out down the hallway. Wait, we can have mobile shields?
Personal shields, yeah. Did none of you have personal shields? Eli slowly facepalms.
I've never had the need to use one.
Nobody told me about this.
Why would I need one when I have a real shield? And he holds up his big Stormcloak emblazoned shield.
Because a phaser can burn through that easily.
I'd like to see it try.
Okay,
It
look,
will
look.
try. Ooh, that's a nice roll. Damn.
Eli, you are able to effectively and quickly treat both of Chorog's wounds. Chorog, once again, the worst thing that's happened to you today is a hole in your clothes. You feel perfectly fine.
Let's go talk to one of these Topons, see what they can tell us.
To be fair, there's only one left alive, and he's unconscious.
Eli,
So-
let's give this guy something to wake him up. I want to know what he knows.
Grimnir walks over to him, grabs him by the hair, lifts him up, slaps him on the face a little bit. Does he wake up?
Go ahead and give me a presence security, Grimnir.
It's God damn it! I can never remember. It's D20.
I'm just now thinking I'm making that up because I'm thinking to myself, this is halfway physical and halfway intimidation, trying to just will him back to the land of the conscious. And you do. You pick up this screeve and you kind of just smack him across, his blue-gray face a couple times, and slowly he kind of blinks his black eyes open, and he just
Holds him up even more, still holding him very firmly by the hair or whatever's on the top of his head, and says, "Wake up! We got some questions for you."
Easy there, Grimnir. Don't want to intimidate him too hard yet.
Johns.
Grimnir looks at Chorog, says, "I'm not even trying to intimidate yet. What?"
You appear to have this simplistic being's full attention.
We got some questions for you. He looks at the group, says, "Who's got the first question?" But he says it in the Grimnir accent that I'm not even going to try to do right now.
All right, you miserable Habiba. Who are you? What are you doing here? And how many more of there are you? You would be wise to answer these questions, considering the guy holding on to you can crush you without a thought.
And as Chorog says that, Grimnir slides his sword slightly out of the scabbard. Not fully, just like halfway, just like ready to pull it out.
Name, Ket. Number, all of tribe here can count high. We live in ruins. You were prey, food.
Big tribe, little tribe.
There's a couple blinks. Big tribe, more than 2 tens.
Okay, there's more than 20 of you.
Grimnir looks up and says, "They're insectoid. I'm familiar with this kind." He heaves a sigh. Should I take his head now or no?
Neither. You should not take his head. No.
No, we're not. Wrong. Come here a minute.
Grawl's asleep.
Someone wake him up.
I was about to say, Kara brings Grawl over. She's just kind of carrying him limply in her arms, and she just looks at Eli when Chorog says, "Someone wake him up."
All right, guess I'm waking it up. Giving him a little bit more stuff to calm him down from his rage, but this should also wake him up. There we go.
What? Why am I covered in blood? Why am I covered in blood?
You wait, man.
Okay, Grawl, calm down. I need to speak with you a minute.
Okay, please tell me I didn't kill anyone.
Okay, I
You
won't
didn't kill anyone.
Yeah, you didn't kill anyone, but I need you to act real fierce. I need information out of this guy, and I plan to use you to kind of lure that information out. Get what I'm saying?
Why is there a bit of liver in my feathers?
The irony is that since the guy is already answering questions to the best of his abilities, you'd be better off using Grawl for his anthropology skills rather than as a weapon of...
Say, like, wow, that did not go the direction I thought it was going to go.
Okay,
better off using him for that.
Grawl, I need you to talk to this guy. He's some kind of insectoid. He's not too bright. Maybe you could coax information out of him. I've done my best.
Can I interject here?
Kara looks over. You're the captain.
All right, I'm going to interject here, and we're not going to threaten him. He's hungry, obviously, since he thought we were. Why don't we just give him food?
All right, Grimnir stands up and pulls him up to his feet, still holding him by the top of his head. All right, Captain says you get food.
More carrot, less stick. Come on.
Grimnir drags him over toward the captain.
Kara takes a ration bar from Rick and just kind of hands it to the guy. The guy seems confused, although after a few minutes and having been explained that he needs to open it first, he shoves the whole thing into his mouth.
Good boy.
The whole thing has him, like, the
Grimnir
wrapper
pats
too.
him on the back.
Okay, here's
yeah,
the
he
deal.
had to take the wrapper off. He didn't start with doing that, so
Okay.
We have more of that. You give us you tell us all the information you know, we'll give you more of it. Does that sound like a deal for you?
more questions, more food. Good.
Okay. You already said that there's 20 of you. Where are you hole up at?
Tribe live throughout ruins. Most live in village at very bottom of chasm. This group hunting party.
Okay, so apparently you guys live in a village at the bottom of this chasm, and you guys are just an advanced scouting party looking for food. Trog then hands him another of the ration bars.
This one disappears pretty much about as quickly as the other. In fact, actually a little quicker, since this time he knows to open it.
Grimnir gives him a pat on the back. Good boy. I like him. Can I keep him as a pet?
No, he's a sentient being.
All of my pets are sentient beings. What are you talking about?
Hey, he's a sapient being.
All right. One
Okay.
final question, and I'll let you go. How do we get down to this little village of yours?
Long walk. Many tunnels. Take three hours. Just go down to bottom.
Rick, let me see that map of yours.
I mean, you've
Why-
got it on your pad, don't you? But he'll pull up and show it.
Well, unfortunately, during the battle, Chorog's pad kind of got smashed. He fell on it.
Kara passes Chorog her pad.
Okay, this map of chasm. Point, route to village. And then you may go.
Targ, it's not necessary. He can lead us.
Why would
Grimnir
we need?
nods and says, yes, I like this idea better.
Goro
Alright.
speaks up. Oh, Goro speaks up and says, "Why would we need to go to a village? We're looking for a portal, not a village."
The reason why, maybe they know something that'll help us.
Or maybe their village is built around the portal.
Yeah,
Or
The
they
Garen-
might know where the portal is, Grimnir says.
Vigaren, moves up and just kind of looks at the map and says, the portal that we require should be on sub-level 7. And he points to a spot on the 3D map. If the village is at the bottom of the chasm, it would be here at sub-level 30.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
No village required, Grimnir says.
He could still lead us. Then he can
Alright.
go. We can reward him. Somebody go back and get a crate of ration bars.
Grimnir reaches into his pack and pulls out a venison steak. Does this count as a ration?
Let's maybe not give him fresh meat, but it
Hey,
will.
it's cooked.
I'm aware. How long has that been cooked?
Don't ask. He puts it back in his pack.
Grimnir, let our friend go. Okay,
All right. He lets go of the guy.
you said your name was Kel?
Ket.
Ket. All right, Ket, you're my new special friend. You're going to come with me, and you're going to show us how to get to your village. and as a reward, we will provide your village with some rations. Because apparently you guys are starving and there's not a lot to eat around here.
Cat just nods his understanding.
Well, I'll go back and get the rations.
And I would like to say that now is probably a good time for us to take a quick mid-game break. If you need to go get something to drink, you need to smoke a cigarette, you need to use the bathroom, I don't know, whatever you need. Welcome back, everybody, from our break. We hope that you had a wonderful couple of minutes. The group now has a guide for the rest of their journey. That should hopefully make things easier. Although, there are still strange things in the depths.
Grimnir is keeping his hand on his sword. It's still in his scabbard, but he's keeping his hand on his sword. He's wary.
You still haven't found out exactly where the sinner went, or what left those claw marks.
Daniel has returned to the group with a freshly patched spacesuit and a few extra patch kits in a pocket.
Ready?
And Rick is returning with the crate, is just sort of like pushing it along the ground. Because I don't think they'd have a hover lift or anything.
No, but you probably got wheels on it at least, so.
We're ready. Move out. And remember, no funny stuff. All right? Or you might risk making the big guy angry, and you don't want to see him angry.
Grimnir kind of flexes his shoulders, clenches the sword at his hip, scowls.
Ryuji, thinking he's the big guy, also does something similar.
Daniel just waves.
Grimnir kind of glances at Ryuji. Doesn't say anything, doesn't have like a blatant expression on his face. He just kind of glances over and just gives a little nod.
The big fox man is like 6'4", 6. I don't remember how tall I said he was.
Grimnir 6'10".
Well, Cat is kind of confused about the idea of doing something funny, but sooner or later he just kind of turns around and starts walking along. At this point, the trip starts to become easy but monotonous. Maybe 30, 40 minutes pass by of descending, traveling along, occasionally having to bypass areas that are flooded or shattered or collapsed. Until finally the group seems to be coming to a large laboratory area. The room is lined and flanked with consoles across it, and what would appear to be other enclosures. Those are the enclosures that the group recognizes from earlier, except that these seem to be designed for more active study.
Grimnir is going to reach his left hand out and clench it, and he's going to cast the Detect Life spell.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you that the only life you detect is Ket in front of you and the group with and behind you. Actually, no, I take that back. How far does the spell go?
Oh, that's a good question. It's got a short range. It doesn't have a long range.
Okay, well, we'll say if you're looking at this room, then it's just Ket and the group.
Let me look. Skyrim Detect Life spell. The range is 200 feet.
Yeah, okay, that probably enough then. All right, you detect Ket and the group and a life form in the room beyond. It isn't moving.
So he reaches his hand out. He casts the spell. He sees the life sign. He says, "Hold up, there's somebody ahead." He puts his hand down. He draws his sword. He looks at Ket and says, "Do we have a fight ahead of us?"
Why fight?
I'd prefer not to.
Yeah, what's in there?
Ket looks and sees the doors are closed and just turns back and says, "Don't know."
Grimnir kind of pauses, looks around at everybody, shrugs, sheathes his sword, walks up to the door, and knocks on it.
Okay, so you walk
Dunk.
You walk through the middle of the scientific lab. And as you do,
Okay. Continue.
a massive claw swipes down and hits across you, slamming you into one of the consoles.
Do I get a resist?
No, you are taken completely by surprise because
Okay.
this is not the life form you detected. And drops from the ceiling a large black mass, which starts to form itself. And I am getting a picture for the chats.
Am I bound or restricted, or was it just like knocks me aside and I'm still free?
So the sinner wasn't a sinner. Got it.
Okay, give me a second. I'm still working on the photo.
No
Why is
worries.
this not working?
Go ahead. Discord's been really weird about pictures lately.
If this
I've
is
noticed.
Armus, I'm going to have some words.
If this is Armus, I'll let someone give me a lighter
I'm starting to wonder what Armus is.
because we're having a barbecue.
I don't know who or what that is, but if this is the sinner, which was actually a shapeshifter, I'm gonna try and walk up to it and be like, "Hey, buddy."
I am. I
Definitely
am
Ben 10. I feel like it's
disappointed
from
in
Ben
the
10.
people that don't know who Armus is.
So
But
down from the ceiling drops this black mass of goo, which seems to rise up and resolve itself into a vaguely humanoid form with one glowing red eye and very large clawed hands. And Grimnir, you are not restrained. You have just been knocked to the side. It definitely
All right.
hurt, but that's not enough to put you down.
as soon as Grimnir sees that, he unsheathes his sword, he grabs a shield off his back and says, "It's go time, motherfuckers!"
And once more, the party has entered combat. Your opponent
Roll initiative.
your opponent this time is the man-made god.
Are we actually rolling initiative or?
No, actually, I'm just going to do kind of what I did before, but I'm going to sort of start in a different direction.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think we've ever rolled initiative in this game. That was just a joke
We
on my
don't really
part.
get it. We don't really even get into much combat like this anyway.
We're just going to go ahead and start with Grumpy, and then we're going to start, and then after that, we're going to do Chorog and go down. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, Grumpy, you have been knocked, to the side and into a console. You have drawn your sword and shield, and before you is the man-made god.
Grumpy's first action is he is going to shout Islanus and do the ice form shout on it to see if it works.
Okay, go ahead and give me a presence, presence security. That just feels like what it should be for shouts. I don't know why.
And I can't remember how to do it, but remember that Grumpy has focus or whatever it is on
You have
shouting.
the crit, and whatever your security is, that's the crit.
Okay,
Ooh.
unless your security is 3, or unless your security is 1, that's going to be double crits.
That is double crits.
So actually, you do this ice form shout, and it's been a while since I did Skyrim, but I'm going to assume that basically you have
It
frosted this
encases
thing
them-
over and frozen it in
Yeah.
place.
It encases them in ice and they fall over frozen.
Well, in this case, he doesn't fall over because fortunately we don't have Skyrim ragdoll physics.
No.
But you have frozen the man-made god, and it is now immobile.
So that was a shout, and his next plan of attack is to swing his sword at it. Which, by the way, this is the fun thing about the ice form shout: is as soon as it gets attacked, it breaks the encasement, and then they have to spend an action getting up.
Now, I will go ahead and say that you're allowed 1 action per turn, so I will give you the choice. Would you rather attack it with the sword or freeze it solid?
Freeze it solid. Okay, I thought that would be because it's spoken. All right, I would rather do that.
Okay.
If it's gonna be an either or, then that's the one I would rather do.
Okie doke. So moving around. Chorog, you have just seen this weird thing drop from the ceiling, bat Grimnir away like a ball of string, and then you saw Grimnir get up, yell at it, and now it's covered in ice and stuck.
Okay, let's see how this thing scatter around.
Okay, so if you're firing a ranged weapon, just give me a control security.
Trog's going to load a grape shot canister into his cannon and turn it into a gigantic shotgun.
I like where this is going. This might be the shortest boss fight ever.
What am I rolling?
Control security.
This is what happens when you have combat monkeys.
Ooh.
Chorog, what's your security skill, just out of curiosity?
Good question.
It's 5.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
going to go
that's
ahead
fine.
and call that was a crit because this thing can't move. So you load up the canister shot into the Gauss cannon, line it up, and fire. And this thing is just sprayed with heavy metal balls. And it just shatters and collapses. All that's left on the ground now is a bunch of frozen pieces.
Ice cubes, anyone?
I give the group a choice. Do you wish to exit combat mode, or do you wish to continue going one at a time?
I want to go one at a time.
Yeah, say with that question, I'm thinking we should stay in turn-based mode.
Yeah.
That is up to you. DB, it's now your turn. You have just seen this thing drop down from the ceiling, get frozen, and then get shattered. And you know that there is a life form on the door to the other side. Vigaran has also told you that the door is the last door you have to go through, so presumably also is the control mechanism to get you out of here.
Daniel just kind of stands there for a few seconds, just kind of looks over at Grimnir, just says, "I'm gonna ask you about that later," and then goes up to the frozen chunks of boss and scans them and just tries to figure out what the heck this thing was.
Meanwhile, Grimnir is looking visibly confused, considering months ago he gave him a heavily enchanted fire wooden sword.
All right, so let's go ahead and get
You should know my magic by now.
Let's get a reason science from DB. And anytime there's a wait for the dice like this, I just start playing the Jeopardy theme in my head.
Yeah, I was just reading my sheet.
Oh no, you're fine. It's just even if you were Johnny on the spot, Magella is only so fast, and sometimes she gets grumpy. So it's not you. It's just anytime that happens, like my brain just doesn't like dead air. So like if everyone's quiet, music just starts playing in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's 2 successes. You immediately discover why this thing did not show up for Grimnir. It is definitely not technically alive. This thing appears to be a giant colony of nanomachines.
Oh.
Although right now it is not doing a whole lot of anything, having been chilled to a ridiculously low temperature and then shattered.
And in case the audience listening is wondering, grape shot is basically a can with a bunch of little bowling balls in it. Designed to turn a can into a gigantic shotgun, and it hurts.
Oh yeah.
More like golf balls than bowling balls, but yeah.
I was thinking
Well,
marbles, but yeah.
Well,
I
marbles,
think golf ball sounds roughly closer, somewhere between marble and golf ball. But anyway, you also know that it's going to take this thing a little while to recover. Depending on what you need to do, you might be able to just ignore it and move on.
All right, I shout out to the group. All right, so it's nanomachines. It's not gonna be able to reconstitute and get back online for a bit. So, if we wanted to just leave, we'd probably be able to leave. But I mean, do we want to like try and keep it from following us, or?
How vulnerable do you think it would be to an EMP?
Probably very vulnerable.
Probably not very.
Well, no, for EMP, for an electronic being, it should be very vulnerable to that.
Not this one.
Do we know that, though?
Yes, Daniel did very well on his scan, so I'm just kind of giving you information here.
Okay. Yeah, Daniel says, I don't think an EMP would really do much. They seem to have some kind of shielding against it.
Huh.
Well,
right. Well, we're still in turn-based mode, so whose turn is it next?
Grawl, it's your turn, Grawl. You have just seen all this weirdness happen, and now everybody is, well, at least one person is standing around the shattered remains of this thing, just going, oh, machines.
Grawl tries to scan it with his Spock helmet to see if the Spock helmet can get any information, the tricorder or not.
Okay, just go ahead and give me reason science. You scan it, and you're basically able to confirm everything Daniel said. You also note that the temperature has increased slightly. If you do want to move away, it's best that you do so soon.
I think we should go. It's melting.
And at that, the next turn would actually go to Kara, who is actually just going to say, works for me. She strides through the middle of the facility, kicks aside a shard of black nanomachines encased in ice, and just goes up to the door. Yeah, She stares at it for a minute, and holds up a hand and moves it to the side, and the door opens. All right, I got it. Eli, you're next. Or Ryuji, depending.
I'm just gonna say Ryuji is closer. So they said somebody was inside the room, right?
Something that is alive is inside the next room.
Okay, Ryuji is going in. He's running. He's just going in, and he's got his sword ready just in case.
What you find in the next room is a massive gate at one side that appears to have been opened to a dusty labyrinth of corridors that it is cycling through. Before the gate is a console, which apparently is used to control the gate. And before the console sits the sinner, just staring at Ryuji as he enters the room.
Buzz off out of the way.
The sinner just stares at you.
Ryuji stares back.
My action in this turn is to stare.
I was about to say, unless you want to do something other than stare, that's pretty much where this is going.
He's going to be ready to draw just in case he's attacked, but he's just going to keep staring him down. He's just one hand on the sheath, the other hand on the hilt of his sword, and he's just ready to draw slash.
All right, Rick, you're up. What would you like to do?
Well, Rick will frown at looking around the various machines and equipment in the first building. With the time frame, he doesn't have time to really do anything with that. So he'll be moving in with forward up to Ryuji and examining the console, see if, based on what he's scanned previously of the portals and the other world tech, that he can figure out what can be done.
I'll give you some quick free information, because just looking at the console, you know the language. So I can tell you what it says right now. And then if you want any more than that, we'll roll for it. But here's what it says right now. The console is unlocked and open. The gateway has been activated. The target is just under the surface of the world of Gamma. And it appears like the gate was activated approximately 30 seconds ago. By the way, the sinner has moved and is now staring at you since you're closer.
Rick will give it an awkward smile and see if he can find out some logs of, what or who might have gone through it previously.
Okay, give me a control engineering.
Do we have any momentum?
Not at the moment, I don't think. I've usually just been taking the successes and making things worse for the enemy or better for you when it's been happening.
Well, that's not how momentum works, but okay.
2 successes, you're able to get a decent amount of information. Unfortunately, there's not much information that you can tell. You decide to look at when the last times the portal was activated. The last 2 times in the log are 30 seconds ago and 586,942 years ago.
Well,
Can you say that again? Because that was a lot of numbers.
No, because I don't even remember the numbers, but it was more than 500,000 years.
Okay.
Well, either the sinner just opened the door to let someone else through, because the last one was 30 seconds ago, but beyond that, this is...
Oh, right. You did ask who had gone through it, and you can actually check. The last time somebody went through it was more than 500,000 years ago.
So, do I think the sinner opened it, and if Rick here is sort of just saying that out loud, as he's sort of that it just that we just had 30 seconds ago. It's been used. I can activate it if we're ready.
It's already active. It's just waiting for someone to go through.
Oh.
I think we keep forgetting we're in combat. we're in turn-based mode right now.
Yeah, we can go ahead and cancel that if everybody wants, but
I don't know. I'm skeptical.
Yeah, I the fact that you're like, do you want to exit turn-based mode? The answer is always no.
all right, Eli, it's your turn.
Eli, he's going to come in and just slowly go around the center. Just,
Depending on if you're closer to it than Rick is, it will turn to stare at you. If Rick is still the closest standing next to the console, then it maintains its stare on him.
Eli, he's got his rifle drawn. He's just sort of like circling around it, so he might get a bit closer at some point.
Only if you get closer will the center slowly turn and fix its single eye on you. Otherwise, at all other
You know
times,
what?
it continues to watch
Sure.
Rick.
Is
Sure.
the center the guy in the room, or is the center the amorphous black blob?
The
that
amorphous
Grimnir
black blob
created?
was the man-made god. The center,
Okay,
which you might
never
have missed
mind.
from a previous session, is a plant. And it is
Okay.
basically one long stalk growing out of a segment of roots with an eye on the end. A very, very large eye.
They are also not known to move, but this one can.
Yeah, when Daniel went past it, the enclosure, the center was in one spot the first time staring at him. And when he had left and come back, the center was then on the ceiling staring at him in the enclosure. So they seem to move when no one's looking, and otherwise they just seem to stare. And the only other thing you know is the name of it. It's simply called a center.
It knows what it did.
So anyway, like I said, if you do get closer to the center, then you get to, or then Rick does, which is going to be difficult. But if you do, like if you brush up against it or something, it will turn and it will look at you as long as you are closer, and then it will go back to looking at whoever is the next closest.
Eli's just going to get close to it as he's passing by, and then obviously get out of range. So it just goes back to looking at Rick.
Yep. So are you walking over to the gate then?
Yes, but not going through. He just right at the edge.
Okay. You can see that the gate, through, as you get close to it, stabilizes and shows a dusty, unlit corridor on the other side with the same geometric shape that you've tended to associate now with world technology of Trident.
All right. Eli's going to point to whoever. All right, this looks like the end of the road for our guide friend. Give him his reward and let him scamper off.
Actually, should be noted that by the time now that anyone looks for Ket, he is long gone. The crate of rations is still there, but it seems like when the man-made god dropped from the ceiling, he immediately legged it.
Well, leave him the crate anyway. He'll leave it outside the door that we came through to this.
So are we exiting turn-based mode then?
I don't know, aren't we?
If not, Chorog is next.
Wait, Chorog went right after me.
Oh, true. Sorry, Grimnir will be next. Sorry, I forgot that I put you at the top, and then everything is in order.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Are we exiting turn-based mode?
I mean, there is a slowly thawing nanomachine god in the other room. So if we want,
Grimnir's
track
still
of that,
hulking
then-
over it. So
Let's
do
get out of
we
here.
wanna-
Let's get out of here before that thing decides to bring itself together.
All right. So consensus is we're exiting turn-based mode.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, everybody
I like-
can act freely. There is no longer a turn order.
All right.
I like
so
how the consensus was 2 people.
Well,
I'm fine with
no-
it.
nobody-
3 people. But
Nobody came in and basically said no. And actually, since we're out of turn-based mode, I'm going to go ahead and go to DB, who wanted to do something. DB, you walk into the room with the Sinner, and you activate the chrono scanner. And you watch what happened for the past 5 minutes before you arrived. For 4 minutes, nothing has happened. It's an empty room. During the last 60 seconds, suddenly the Sinner is there in front of the console. You don't see it come in from any direction. You don't see it drop down or come up or go sideways. It's just there. And then, 30 seconds later, you see that the console has been activated and the gate is open.
So the sinner, I don't see the sinner like interact with anything. It just kind of appears, and without moving, suddenly the machines turn on.
Yes.
I walk over to Eli and say, all right, so, I know how the sinner moves, and he does air quotes when he says moves.
All right, explain.
Here, just watch this, and I roll it back to show that last minute.
And once again, Eli and everyone who gathers around, you just see that at 1:01, the sinner wasn't there, and that at 60 seconds exactly, it's there. There is no flash of light, no puff of smoke, nothing there. It's just one moment the sinner was not in the room, and then it is.
Oh.
And I'm going to go ahead and take a quick left turn for that and say, Grawl, what was it you wanted to do?
Grow approaches the sinner and offers some water to it while trying to scan it.
Like, are you holding up the water to it, or are you just watering the roots?
Pouring out a canteen of water and holding up the water.
The sinner just stares at you. It has no limbs.
Grow then pours the water onto its roots.
The sinner continues to stare at you.
Does Grow see anything in his scans?
Go ahead and roll me a reason science. You start to get a scan back from your tricorder, and you start to realize you're looking at a plant, and then your tricorder immediately shuts off.
I think it has some power over electronics.
Grimnir, who's still, keeping an eye on the black goo, glances over and says, "Do you need me to do anything?"
Just keep watching it.
I think if worse comes to worse, our friend might be helpful against the machines.
Having been quiet this time, Dro slowly walks up, still kind of favoring the wound across his chest, and he looks down at the console and says, "Gate is open to Gamma. There's nothing stopping us now."
Wait, there's a person in our party with an open wound?
No, it has been tended and dealt with, but the wound was it was just this side of instantaneously fatal. So, you're gonna feel that.
Are they still visibly wounded when they walk in?
Yeah, they're basically, their armor is torn, and they kind of keep an arm over their chest sort of protectively.
All right, so when Grimnir sees that, he's gonna put the tip of his sword onto the black goo as kind of a stay there kind of thing. He's gonna hold his hand up and say, hold on, let me fix that, and he's gonna cast a healing spell on him.
Okay, you're basically able to take away some of the pain, but there's not much you could do that hasn't already been done. No. What's been done for this wound has already been done. I'm just going to say you're able to cure a bit of pain, but...
Grimnir's restoration is ridiculous. He doesn't use it very often in the game, in our game, but Grimnir's restoration is ridiculous.
Eli's already dealt with him, so...
Yeah, I think he's okay.
All right.
He's not in danger of falling down. He's just in pain.
It's just he sees the wound. All right. So here's what it is. It's Grimnir sees the wound and the wincing from the pain. He's like, hey, come here. Let me fix that. And he does his mumbo jumbo, and it doesn't really change anything, but the guy doesn't feel any pain anymore. The scar is still there, and he knows he was hurt, but it doesn't hurt anymore. It's as if you got shot with a hypo of morphine or something like that.
You mean,
it's just
like I gave him.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say you do see Dro relax a little, and he gives you a smile and just says thank you. But
Is
and
that
then he continues
Not
on.
how it should actually work, but I don't want to take anything away. So
He does walk over to the console and he says simply, "The coordinates are set for Gamma. That's where Speaker Arun is. That's where we want to go."
Well, let's get going. There's no point staying here right now.
Kara says, "Yay, adventure!" And she walks through the gate and disappears. Meanwhile, Daniel, what do you want to try?
As all that was happening, Daniel would have walked up next to Goral, and in front of the center, and hold out. He would hold out his tricorder, and ask it, "Can if you can hear us and understand us, turn this off."
The center just stares at you.
All right. So either it does not want to comply with any requests, or it can't understand speech. And at that point, he notices Kara walking through the portal. He's like, "Oh shit, guys, we."
Rick follows soon after Kara.
And then most of the other currently NPC'd folks follow through as well. Vigarin, Grimnir follows because Grumpy had to go pee, and whatnot. Left on the other side of the portal right now are Ryuji, Eli, Grawl, DB, and Chorog.
Ryuji probably went through at the same time Kara did. He's kind of like helping keep her safe.
In that case, it's Eli, Grawl, Chorog, and DB. They're the only people left on this side of the portal.
Chorog is waiting for everyone else to go through. He'll follow through last.
Eli was going last.
Okay, there's this awkward moment where both of you stare at each other, gesture to the portal, and are nodding back and forth.
Daniel walks up behind them and just shoves them both in the back. "Oh, just get over yourselves and go."
Both,
Hey!
both Eli and Chorog just slip through the portal, since that little shove was all that was required. Grawl and DB are the last people on this side of the portal.
wait,
what? One last quick scan to see if the nanomachines have thawed yet enough to follow us.
Yeah, I was gonna say Grimnir's still standing over the god machine.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure how long you were gone, so at first I was having Grimnir having gone through the portal. In that case, the people left are Grimnir, Grawl, and DB.
Eli
And
comes back through and just like, no, I last.
though there isn't actually no way back from the other side.
God damn it.
Because Grimnir is still waiting for this thing to react. Like, he knows it's inevitable. It's gonna happen.
True.
So
The question is Grimnir going to
he's not
stay here
letting
and
it
wait
go.
for that to happen when the rest of the group is leaving?
Well, has the entire group left?
No, but there are only 3 people on your side of the portal, and as I've just told Eli, there is no way back through from the other side.
We don't know that on this side, though. So, Grimnir looks at the others and says, "What do y'all think?"
And DB, you see the nanomachines have gotten warmer, and you're starting to see some slight action from them.
Can I get a read on how long we have till they're basically just free, just before they're able to act freely again?
You basically have between 3 and 10 minutes, depending.
Okay. Daniel turns to Grimnir and says, "Well, we've got 3 minutes minimum before this thing's up and moving again. So I guess we should probably follow everyone through the portal, I guess, and
should I stay behind to make sure it doesn't follow?" Grimnir straightens up, holds his sword all heroically.
I mean, I guess that's really up to you. I mean, the center over there, and Daniel just points behind him. The center over there seems to have turned the portal on to exactly where we need to go after I freed it from its cell. So maybe it'll close the portal behind us? But even if it doesn't, I mean, even if it doesn't, and this thing follows us through, we can just finish it off on the other side of the portal.
On the other side, Eli taps his comm badge.
You get the
You-
beep of it activating.
O'Connor to Wells.
DB, you hear Eli's voice from your comm badge.
Heyo, Captain. I guess it should be your call. Do you want someone to stay behind and try to kill the nanomachine thing?
Hey, I didn't say kill. I said keep an eye on it to make sure it doesn't follow.
No, just have the portal have the portal shut off after we go. Like, just, I don't want to say explode it, but like have it shut down, or at least go somewhere. I don't know.
Concussively seal it.
Do not.
I understand, Captain. I understand.
You're going through the portal, though. You're coming with us.
Grimnir starts looking through his pack for any explosives, then he realized, shit, Chorog has those. All right, that's fine. I got an
Actually,
idea.
if you've been with the group, the entire group has a pattern buffer full of C4.
Goro attempts to think very hard in a direction of the
I wanted to do it the good way.
in the direction of the center and tries to think, are you telepathic?
Well,
Is Grimnir?
first- I was about to. No, he's checking the center. But I will say that I'm just reminding you of an option. You don't have to take it. Grimnir could have forgotten. Anyway,
Grimnir always forgets.
Grawl, you basically look at the center and think real hard, and the center just stares at you.
R is telepathic.
So you have gotten no response out of the ordinary, at least. If it can hear your thoughts, then it clearly is giving no sign.
Well, okay, so from playing Waitley, I have learned that you can tell if something can receive, like if something is telepathic receptive. Can Guar tell if the center is telepathic receptive?
No, he's not telepathic himself.
Yeah, I was about to say the two things that come up are that one, Grawl isn't telepathic, and two, psionic ability seems across Trident to be heavily suppressed.
Oh yeah, trust me, I know.
So, still 3 people on the far side of the portal.
All right, so based on everything I've heard, Grimnir is gonna kind of rush the other 2 through the portal. Like, go ahead. I'll cover our exit.
Oh, wait. I just want to get a quick sample. And Daniel wants to go over and chip a piece of ice off with some nanomachines and put it into some kind of closed container.
No.
No bringing.
No, Goyle says no.
Grimnir is not going to stop him. He's just going to look at him with wide eyes like, you're smarter than me. Go ahead.
Grawl does yell at you, no. Daniel, you now have a small glass vial with a tiny bit of black goop sealed in it.
As Daniel walks back towards the portal, he's just like, listen, if we're never coming back and we never see anything like this ever again, might as well be able to study at least a little bit.
But stuff like that tends to reproduce and grow and turn into big things like that thing back over there.
Well, if this one can do that, we'll find out pretty quickly through studying it.
I do have a question. Grimnir, have you moved into the portal room at any point?
No, he's still hovering over the black mass.
All right.
But he is trying to push everybody that way. Like, he's trying to move it that way. He's just keeping an eye on it, like, because he knows, like, that Isla Nus, that shout, it works. It freezes things, but the second it's attacked, it ends. And so he's waiting for that thing to get up and attack again. And he's prepared for that.
Grawl, what were you getting ready to do?
Grohl tries to think towards the center again. Thank you, and if you can, could you turn off the portal and give us a sign that you are able to do that if you can?
The center just stares at you.
I kind of expected as much.
Are you then going through the portal?
Yes, although he's going to try to knock the sample out of DB's hands as they walk.
Contested.
Oh,
DB, give me fitness science. Grawl, give me fitness security.
Ah, yes. Now that some of it is freed, let's break its confinement. Did you say fitness science?
Fitness science for you, fitness security for Grawl.
can Grimnir assist?
No, you're in a different room, and they're both right next to the portal.
Okay.
Would my
I thought this
focus
was
in
right in front of
robot-
the portal. Okay, never mind.
Well,
Would
you
my-
haven't moved. You haven't moved from the defeated nano machines. That's in a different room than where the center and the gate are.
Like I said, I thought this was the same room, so I was mistaken. That's why I said never mind.
All right, Grawl got 2 successes.
would
DB,
my
you have
would
one.
my sorry, what would my focus in robotics count?
No.
I just had to check.
As Grawl slips through the portal, his tail whaps your wrist, and you lose control of the sample, and it goes
Actually-
flying through the portal.
Question:
What?
Would his focus and sleight of hand help?
Even if it, well, I guess it would. If
Oh,
it
yeah, I
does
didn't
do
even
that,
think
then
about
then you have hold of it. I'll go ahead and just give it between you. Grawl, do you want him to just go ahead and keep hold of it?
Sure.
Okay. DB, you barely manage to hold on to it as his tail whaps you as he goes through the portal.
We're all what? Do you want this thing to just break free? Follows through the portal.
All right. Grimnir, you are the last
right.
person on this side of the portal.
Since everybody is through the portal, and Grimnir is slowly backing away, still got his sword out, keeping an eye on the black mass. He glances at the center, doesn't say anything.
The second you are completely through the door into the portal room, it slams shut.
Grimnir immediately turns to the center. What'd you do?
The center just stares at Grimnir, and then after a moment, roll me an insight and either security, science, or whatever you think is your best stat.
Grimnir's rolls are always the same, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. You get 3 successes. You think you detect in its movements the slightest hint of a nod to you.
I'm trying to think of what Grimnir can do. Grimnir is gonna do the that wouldn't apply, never mind. You know what? He's gonna try. He's gonna do the animal allegiance shout.
Okay. You can go ahead and do that, but
Yeah,
I'll just...
he's gonna do it, even though that's probably not going to apply, but it's the only thing he can think of in this situation.
Yeah,
And
you don't
say-
get it. You don't get
Yeah.
any response. It just
Okay.
stares at you.
He just nods at the center, and then he goes through the portal.
And for everyone's peace of mind, I will go ahead and tell you that after Grimnir goes through the portal, the facility on Beta powers down. And the portal closes. Now, everyone has moved over to Gamma. And I think that is a good place for us to leave off tonight. And next session, one way or another, is the climax of the Trident story.
Oh dear gods.
And it'll be coming sooner than later.
Okay, can I have like an end scene?
Oh yeah, everybody's on the far side of the portal. You're in a dusty hallway. If you want an end scene, go for it.
Jarl kind of dusts himself off after being unceremoniously shoved through the portal. He sees Daniel come through with a glass vial of the black blob.
Yep.
Daniel, if that thing gets out of control, I'm feeding you to it.
If this thing gets out of control, I'll let it eat you.
Excuse you?
I should also note that this sample is not really a lot of it. It's a tiny amount in basically a test tube.
Grimnir just says, if that thing gets loose and y'all start getting crazy about it, I'm just going to shout at it again. And y'all can argue over a frozen corpse.
In response to what Eli said, Daniel just says, "Hey, I was just responding in kind. I wouldn't actually let it eat anybody. Probably.
Okay. What do you mean probably?
I won't let it eat anybody.
At all of this,
I think it will
should
eat
be where we
anybody.
end it. What do you mean probably? That should be where we end it.
I was about to say, at this, the camera moves slightly to Graves, who's standing a little further down the hallway, who looks back at the group with his glowing orange eyes and just says, Starfleet's finest. And that's where we end.